and it's just going to be identify the organ. All right, the epithelium, it varies from pseudostratified to simple columnar, I think. So we're not going to focus too much on the epithelium. All right, we're just looking at low power. You're just looking for that kind of characteristic appearance of the gland. All right, so this is your seminal vesicle. So this is going to be adding most of the semen to the sperm that's passing through. All right, the next gland is your prostate. So again, this is a low power ID. Just ID the gland. All right, so with your prostate gland, it's not a single gland, but it's made up of all these tiny glands that come together to make up your prostate. All right, so you have these much smaller glands that are separated by this very thick, dense connective tissue, dense irregular connective tissue. And within the connective tissue in the prostate, you have a lot of smooth muscle, like little pieces of smooth muscle that are kind of just, randomly arranged. They're not in any layers or anything. So that's kind of characteristic of the prostate gland. So again, you're just looking for that characteristic appearance of the gland. So it's going to be, again, identify the gland. And I think I have a better stained one, which I'll show you. All right, another thing that you're looking for with a prostate, which happens in older men, is that you have these prostatic concretions that are formed within the prostate. All right, so this is a little bit better stained. So you can see the connective tissue and the smooth muscle kind of mixed in together in between the glands here. All right, so you have a lot of connective tissue, dense irregular connective tissue, mixed in with smooth muscle. So it's just little pieces of smooth muscle, no particular arrangement, just kind of thrown together in between the glands here. All right, so once we see that characteristic arrangement of muscle, connective tissue, and these glands here, we know that's our prostate. All right, so in the older prostate, we have these concretions that are formed. All right, so here's some. These are prostatic concretions, which are characteristic of the prostate. So if you see that, that can help you to identify the prostate. All right, and then these are just formed over time. They just develop, and as the person gets older and older, you have more and more of these forming. All right, where was the other place that we saw these things occurring?
Thyroid?
Where did you see calcifications?
Oh,
Brain
sand.
Brain sand,
Brain
which is
sand.
located in the pineal, and where else?
And where else? The
Choroid.
choroid plexus. So isn't it funny that in the male they have it in their brains and in their prostate? Their other brain. All right, so those are characteristic of your prostate. All right, so once the semen is added from the prostate, then it goes through the penile urethra. All right, so that's our last slide here, our little smiley face. All right, so this is a scanning view of the penis. So once you see that little smiley face.
And it's an infant penis.
All right, that's in the infant. In the older guys, they don't smell so much anymore. All right, so our penis is made up of erectile tissue. So we have this section that's called the corpora cavernosa, and we have these venous sinuses that are present that are going to become filled with blood once you have an erection. All right, and then you have this other section that's called the corpora spongiosum, or the corpus spongiosum, that contains the penile urethra. All right, so in this section of the urethra, again, the epithelium varies from pseudostratified to stratified columnar. Alright, sorry, from transitional to stratified columnar. So depending on, you know, where the slide is cut, this one looks probably like stratified. Yeah, it looks like stratified columnar, maybe. Alright, because we have a layer of cells here, we have another layer here. Alright, so the epithelium varies. Closer to the kidney, of course, it's going to be transitional. As you move towards the end of the urethra, then it starts to become more stratified. And then as you move towards the outside, it becomes stratified squamous as it goes into the epithelium of the skin. All right, so this is your penile urethra. And again, in your corpus spongiosum, you have these venous sinuses that are going to become filled with blood once you have an erection. All right, so again, this is ID the structure, I think, or the region of the organ, which would be your corpus spongiosum that contains the urethra, or up here, your corpora cavernosum. All right, and then ID the organ, that would be the penis.
And what's the difference between the male and female urethra? Female urethra stands alone. And
okay, so the male urethra, we're always identifying it inside the penis. All right, so once we ID the structure, I think that's your urethra. All right, so on this slide, you can actually see the epithelium of the skin. So that would be the outer layers here. We can actually see a few hair follicles as well. All right, so we see our stratified squamous epithelium. Some parts are keratinized. All right, as we look around there. All right, so that's it for the male.
what else is different about the female urethra? It's not the same